What it do, people? It's your boy Dre Day Everyday, back with another video for you. And today I got a topic that's aimed at the hip hop debate community, just hip hop listening in general. You can apply this logic to any type of music listening, but it's basically um, an ideology behind the listen. And the reason why I feel like it's more relevant to hip hop because, in hip hop and rap, there are a lot of debates that go around about who's better than who, what's better than what, so on and so forth. I'm not going to say that there doesn't exist debates in other genres, but it's very common and consistent and long term in hip hop, more so than any other debates that I've seen in terms of other music genres. But basically, ideology behind the listen. So, the reason why this is important is because you want to know the philosophy a person has when they're actually listening to music, because that means that that right there would determine how a person grades, right? So, like, just you just kind of pay attention to look at some certain people only listen to music in certain situations. Like, let's just say, for instance, if this person is, let's say they're washing and drying and folding up their clothes or doing spring cleaning, and they got something playing in the background because they need some sort of background noise. Now, they could be a primary hip hop listener and calling themselves a hip hop listener, but they like the sonic. They only like the sonics of hip hop because hip hop has a certain sound, that a certain attitude that other music genres doesn't have. And all this person could listen to is hip hop. Well, who says that they're not a hardcore hip hop fan? So you have this person here who listens to music as background noise. Then we have this other person who may be more of the listen to it in the headphones inside the house with nothing else playing. I can say me personally, when my favorite artist drops, I actually, depending on how high on the tier list they are, because I have a lot of favorites, but then I have my top tier favorites. When they drop, I'll get in a quiet room. I will turn everything off in here, even the lights maybe, and lay in my bed and just put both earbuds in and listen to the entire album in a playthrough, just to hear it all the way through once. Because me personally, I'm a lyric listener, but at the same time, I also listen to music, the musicality of it as well. And that's another thing. You have people that are only lyric listeners, and they don't care for the musicality of it. And then, because for me, I've said a few times before, if we're not gonna grade the musicality of it, these guys need to just put out acapella albums. I'd listen to it, because if this is the ideology behind you want me to listen to what you're saying and not as music, it needs to come out as a acapella album or a poetry disc, or, well, they don't do discs no more, a poetry file or some sort. But if it comes out and there's music playing, I'm grading the musicality of it. So you have that. You have the background noise person, you have the lyric listener, then you have people that's only vibe listeners, where it's like, they're driving somewhere, they got people in the car with them, and they only want to play something that sounds good, maybe vibe. You can kind of throw the, I don't want to say I mean, you could say club. It's like it appeals to, um I guess, a vast majority, as opposed to someone sitting down and honing in on what's being said and pretend. And then another step is, outside of just listening, you have the person who will break things down. I also is categorized as that because I debate with people on all levels, and I hear there are a lot of lyric listeners that do zero breakdowns. They just want to get on here and say, "Oh, well, this is good because of this rhyme scheme," or they did this or that, this, that, and the third, but they don't pull the meat out of the actual content of what's actually being said, as opposed to the 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 what is the word I'm looking for? Just the presentation of it, because that stuff is presentation on a presentation level. Your rhyme scheme is presentation. Your delivery is important because if I can't hear what you're saying, but some people grade against certain types of deliveries because, like me personally, I grade for emotion as well because when you consume a lot of underground hip hop, you're gonna run into these guys that sound like they're just reading their raps off paper. Um, I can sit down and say, okay, I like this bar, I like that bar. I think this verse was nice, but you have no enthusiasm. So that's me just kind of touching on, just laying a foundation for ideology behind the listen because as a hip hop head, you're gonna have to defend your favorite rappers and why they're your favorite rappers. And there's nothing wrong with people liking who you like and disliking who you like, but you want to know the person you're debating with. You don't want to be the deep dive lyric breakdown guy and you're debating with the person who listens to music while they're folding clothes that can't tell you what the song is saying or don't want to break it down. If this is what the debate is about, if we're talking about whose lyrics are deeper, why are you debating with a person who listens on a surface level? If the debate is a vibe debate, like who makes the best music, you don't want to debate with the deep dive guy. You know what I'm saying? You need to make sure that you're debating with a person and you both on the same page about what you're actually talking about. Because I could be sitting over here saying, well, this song is saying this, that, and the third, and this person only cares about how the music sounds, and it doesn't matter what the person is saying. I mean, that's the whole thing. So it's we need to just get these debates in front of the right people. And not saying that you can debate with people on all levels, but just understand how you're talking about the music and how you're talking about what it is that you're choosing to debate and who you're choosing to debate it with, because you'll be sitting up going back and forth with a person and y'all will never be making any points towards anything. This person's going to be continually making their point, you're going to be continually making your point, and it's just two things crashing into each other that's going nowhere. And if you just want to engage in that and waste your time, well, that might be fun for you. If you want to pass your time that way, by all means do so. But if you're the person that wants to really go somewhere, make sure you're debating somebody who has a similar listening ideology to you. As make sure y'all listening ideology is the same if you're really trying to see why hypothetically something that they are calling trash. It's like, okay, you're a deep dive lyric guy and you're debating with another deep dive lyric guy. You have a project that comes out, you believe that it's dope, the other deep dive lyric guy think that it's trash. Y'all can have a conversation and then possibly you can get somewhere and see, oh, this is why you're not impressed, and then he can see why you are impressed. And not saying that any minds would change, but you will actually have some sort of understanding as to, or I feel like that's a real conversation or a real more serious debate, rather than, because you know trash is everybody's favorite word. Trash has no context, because you can't get away with me. I'm not going to let you call something trash if you don't have some sort of if you don't have some of summary some sort of description as to why you don't like it. Trash is just a cop out word. I mean, little kids can say trash. That shit doesn't work with me. Not if you have a opinion that's worth being valued. So on and so forth. Because I'm willing to comprehensively break down why I think something is good. And I will break down why I think something is trash. But, you know, that's my whole thing. But yeah, make sure you're debating with the person of the mind frame that you want to. I ain't gonna say want to, but just make sure the debate is in the right playing arena. But that's all I got on this idea. To my next video, peace.